Hi everyone, it's Maria from So Jewish, and today I'm going to show you how to make the wave tucks on this hand towel. Now this is a very special hand towel. It's made, designed especially for the hand washing before eating bread or before eating matzah during the Passover Seder. And the wave tucks are meant to suggest flowing water, and also the idea of Mayyim, hayyim, which is a Hebrew phrase that means living waters, and it's an idea associated with spiritual renewal. So it seemed like it would make really great design detail for this towel. Now this towel is the first tutorial from the So Jewish book, which is now available to download in PDF form. It's available on Etsy and also the So Jewish shop. There are 18 projects altogether, including a talit and a wedding huppah, a challah cover, all kinds of fun things. So you'll find the links for the book in the description section. But for today, I want to show you how to make these wave tucks. Let me show you where I am in this project. I have here the pattern that I printed out from the So Jewish book and taped the pages together. And I've used this pattern to cut out the fabric piece and to also trace the pattern markings for the wave tucks. We have 5 horizontal lines. These are the fold lines for making the tucks, like this. And then we have the wave sewing line. Once the tucks are made, we're going to press the tucks up and down alternately and sew along this wave sewing line to make the waves. And I also have at the beginning and the end of the wave sewing line X's through the dots that mark those positions. Now to get these markings onto the fabric, I have just traced them using a water-soluble fabric pen. So when the project is done and the towel is washed, these lines will come right out. I have my little ironing board here, so we're going to start by folding and pressing along the first fold line, and I'm starting with the fold line that's closest to the bottom of the towel. And I'm just going to press across there, and don't use steam for this step, not with the water erasable marker, because the steam will erase your pattern markings. Now we sew the first tuck. I'm putting the fabric on the machine with the smaller folded side of fabric facing up. It doesn't matter so much for this first tuck, but for the tucks that come after this, it will make a big difference. So I'm going to sew 3/8 of an inch away from this fold line, that's 1 centimeter, all the way across the towel. A couple of back stitches, and we go forward. 3/8 of an inch, 1 centimeter. This is making the first tuck. Now I'm making this towel for my friend Anne as a thank you gift for editing the So Jewish book. Among all the comments that she sent back the first time were next to a picture of this towel, she wrote, "I want one of these." So I thought I would make her one as a thank you gift. And actually, when I was sitting next to my sister Jean as she was going through the book, I wanted to get her reaction. When she turned to this page, she also said, "I want one of these." So I'm going to probably end up making one for her too, maybe as a Hanukkah gift or maybe for a hostess gift for Passover. So Anne and Jean, I know you're going to be watching this, so just know you each have a towel coming your way. Alright, that's the first. Here's the first tuck. Now I'm sewing the second tuck, just like the first, 3/8 of an inch, that's 1 centimeter away from the fold line. And here I have the, just like the first, I put the narrower side of the folded fabric up. That's the side with the tuck, and that keeps this first tuck out of the way when you're doing the sewing. All the way across the towel. trim here. Let's keep it neat. And here you have, here are the first 2 tucks. Now I'm going to go ahead and sew the remaining 3 tucks. I've just finished sewing the 5 tucks. They look lovely, I think, and they actually feel lovely. I love how, I love the texture, especially with this soft linen. It really feels good in the hand. All right, now we have the tucks. We're going to turn them into waves. Let's show you again what we're headed for. So what we're going to do is press and pin these tucks alternately up and down along the wave line. And then we're going to sew the tucks in place like this. All right, let's start. I'm going to press. I'm pulling the fabric a little bit so that the tucks are the full distance they should be away from each other. Again, don't use steam here. You will end up erasing your marker lines. Down and now up. Alright, let me just hit this one again. There we go. Now we pin. And just, I'm going to put the pins in so that they're easy to pull out when I'm sewing. And since I'm going to be starting going in this direction, I'm putting the heads of the pins facing me. So the heads of the pins are near this folded edge of the tuck. There we go. And then when I get to this next line where the tucks are facing in the other direction, I'm going to put the pins in the other direction. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put the pin these tucks down along the whole towel. I want to show you the sewing from pretty close up. Alright, I'm going to take out the first pin so it doesn't get in the way of my presser foot or the needle. Let's see, I'm going to line that up, put the needle down. I'm going to take a couple of anchoring stitches backwards, and now I sew across this first part of the wave line, pulling out the pins before the machine gets to them so that they don't get in the way. We don't want broken needles or dulled needles or messing up the machine. That is not helpful. Alright, and at the top I turn the fabric, and just basic technique with the needle in the fabric. I lift the presser foot, I turn the fabric, I put the presser foot back down, and I continue sewing. And you'll see here, about halfway across to the next line that goes down, this wave sewing line starts to curve toward the tucks. So I'm going to stop with the needle in the fabric, put the presser foot up, move this tuck out of the way, put the presser foot back down, and I continue along the line. And here I'm getting to the bottom, or say the bottom, but the edge of this next row of tucks. Here I'm going to have to take out a couple of pins so that they are not in the way. Ah! I put those pins in backwards. And you can see why it's really helpful to put the pins in facing with the heads facing away from the direction you're sewing, because otherwise they do get in the way. Lesson learned. Needle in the fabric, presser foot up. I turn the fabric, presser foot down, pin out of the way. Let's see, can you see that? Now I sew the next line. Alright, I like the way these are looking. Now, I think I described at the beginning of the tutorial that one of the ideas that inspired using the waves was this, this idea of Mayyim, hayyim, which is a Hebrew phrase that means living waters. And it's a phrase that's associated with Moses' sister Miriam. If you remember your the Passover story and your Bible story of Moses, when Moses' mom sent him down the Nile in a basket to safety, it was his big sister Miriam who hid along the side of the Nile and followed the basket to make sure her brother would end up in a safe place. And then later, when the Israelites left Egypt and were in the desert, God gave a well of water that traveled with the Israelites so that they would have water in the desert. And the early rabbis said that this, the well was given for the merit of Miriam. And you might, for your Passover Seder, use this practice this new ritual of Miriam's cup. I know that we have, in addition to an Elijah's cup of wine, you put out a cup of water for Miriam to remember her role in the Exodus. So it seemed like a great inspiration all around for this towel, which is used not only for washing hands before eating bread, but also before having matzah on the Passover Seder. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and finish this now, and I'll see you on the other side. I'm coming to the end of the wave sewing line now. I'm going to stop, take a couple of anchoring stitches backwards, raise the presser foot and pull it off, and I'm going to trim the threads where I started, where I finished, and back again where I started. So nice and neat. Oh, trim those already. And there are the wave tucks. Those are really very lovely. I just love the shadow and the texture. That's going to make a beautiful hand towel. Now I'm going to finish this off with a mitered hem, and you can find instructions for doing that as well as the pattern for these wave tucks in the So Jewish book. I'm going to put links in the description section for where you can find the book. It's available as a PDF for immediate download in the So Jewish shop as well as on Etsy. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of my future tutorials, I invite you to subscribe to the So Jewish YouTube channel. Thanks a lot, everybody. I will see you next week.